Future Now Show. Brought to you by the Club of Amsterdam.
Well, actually, last month I had my 60th birthday, and based on my age, I have 30 years of banking and financial service experience. I've worked for most of the major European banks, and well, actually, about 2 or 3 years ago, I had the idea that with all the knowledge I had, and all the experience, because about 30 years ago I already started a social bank in Switzerland. It's called ABS, Alternative Bank Switzerland. I thought that it is now time to go for a next challenge, which is creating a global social bank. So that is actually what the project is about. I thought it is necessary that especially a bank looks at and helps solving some of the pressing and important social issues that we face today. Well, the current situation is actually mainly in southern countries, meaning Africa, Asia, Latin America, that the access to financial services is not possible due to certain obstacles. It's sometimes infrastructure, but it's also, I would call it even artificial obstacles, because when you open or want to open a bank account in southern countries, then usually you have to bring a minimum deposit of several $100s. And in addition to that, each and every month, the bank where you open your account will charge you a fee of anywhere between $5 and $20 each and every month. This is an obstacle or something that socially weak or vulnerable people cannot afford. So there, with our services, mainly so-called mobile financial services, we want to bridge the gap and give access to financial services to everybody who needs them. No, actually, we have a very powerful mobile banking solution which we plan to implement. And this mobile banking solution also allows to use SMS, or even some part of it is even based on calls. So with any phone where you can make a phone call, it's sound-based transactions. You can also send money. So this is actually quite a new technology, which has not been developed by ourselves, but which we have found in the market. And thanks to the, let's say, the social attitude of the founders of this company, we are able to offer this mobile banking solution at very affordable prices. Well, the marketing strategy we want to follow is actually quite simple. I don't know if you know about the situation here in Europe, where we would call the market overbanked. Here in Europe, you have a wide choice of banks, and some banks offer what we want to offer as well, free accounts. And even up to the fact that if you open a new account at the bank here in Europe, for example in Germany, the bank will pay you anywhere between 50 and 100 euros. Now, when you go to Africa, there are two things you have to know. The first one is that a Swiss-based banking group has a huge advantage in terms of confidence. Every person in Africa knows that Swiss banking is famous for its reliability, for the stability of the bank, etc. Now, one of our plans, I don't want to disclose the details, but is to start in 1 or 2 countries offering 10 euros on every new account which a person opens. So our, let's say, our plans are that we have a problem in terms of making sure that our servers will be able to get that workload done, but we are pretty sure that offering 10 euros on a new account is so appealing that many people, even hundreds, perhaps even thousands, will come to us and open a free One Bank for All account. Well, we actually, partnerships are very important for us. That is very true. We would probably not partner so much with other financial institutions, obviously only to have transfers or payments that go to other banks. This is usually not really a big issue. But for example, our partners should be able to handle the so-called cash in and cash out transactions. Because obviously, a really important part of the economy is still based on cash. So there we plan to have partnerships with hotel chains, with gas and fuel stations, with retail shops, even in remote rural areas, so that anybody who has access to such a shop or a fuel station can also have his cash transactions done. That is our plan. We do not want to build up what is called a brick and mortar bank. We don't want to build huge branches where we need to pay rent and things like that. We want to offer our financial services at a very low cost, very affordable prices, because that is what people really need. Microcredit has actually developed quite well, and we are very happy that well, the business model of microcredits has picked up pretty well. What we find today in the market is that the interest rates that microfinance institutions ask for have risen to an incredible height. We know that in some countries the interest rate of microfinance institutions is anywhere between 2 and 3%, which for European people makes it a 24 up to 36% interest rate. And that is incredible. That is killing almost any business, because I only know 3 businesses where you can get that kind of return. It's prostitution, drugs, and arms. And you start smiling. It's obvious. As a social business, we want to help solve social problems and not to create them. So yeah, it's obvious. We don't want to finance drugs. We don't want to finance prostitution and arms. One Bank for All is about creating jobs, about creating income for those people who need it most. And as such, it is actually a project for peace. We want people to have a peaceful and successful living. And the motto that we gave us, we want to empower people with financial services at the speed of light, because it is urgently needed to give some, let's say, vulnerable, neglected people in rural areas, to give them employment, to give them a way to earn money and send their children to school. We are actually just now forming some very important partnerships, which obviously will help us a lot to have a faster rollout than we actually thought a few months ago. We will partner with some auditing companies. We'll partner with some, let's say, larger multinational companies. And the plan we have right now is to take advantage of what is called the so-called sandbox approach. This means that in Switzerland, actually only since last year, we will be allowed to start small operations without having reached the 10 million Swiss francs in equity, but just to make a proof of concept. And when I travel in actually late February and March to Africa, I will also find out, or there are some countries where this sandbox approach is also possible. And we plan in Africa to start operating in some countries in 2019. So that is pretty close. We have to work a lot, and there is a long to-do list, but we are working hard, not 24 hours a day, but a little bit more than 8 hours. To be very honest and clear with you, we will not have a choice. The companies like Visa and MasterCard, those you are referring to, if I understand or have understood between the lines, in Europe, the acceptance of these cards is so wide that we must offer them. But obviously, we also have some plans to offer, let's say, alternative methods of payment, because using these cards puts a charge on every transaction that is anywhere between 3 and 8%. When I say 8%, that is the average charge of a payment done with PayPal, for example. And this is just for, let's say, for low-cost banking, such fees are just too high. So we are working on offering our clients alternative ways of payment in order to avoid these huge transaction costs. That is right. We do use actually social networks, mainly the so-called professional social networks we do use. I might mention LinkedIn. We also have a presence on Facebook. It has showed so far that the people who are mainly interested in social banking, they are very much on social professional networks. So just to give you an idea, the people that follow me, there are, let's say, well above 20,000 people on LinkedIn who are interested in social banking. And that just gives you an idea how far we have gotten. And yeah, obviously, we also plan, especially now in 2018, to really broaden our marketing efforts so that many people who right now don't know yet that One Bank for All is a project to create the first global social bank. So we want to make sure that in the first countries where we plan to operate, One Bank for All is already a brand well known. Obviously, the vision was what made me start the whole project together with 3 of my colleagues at that time at Credit Suisse. The vision is really that for those people who today do not really have access to financial services, to give them access. And in terms of countries, we hope that in 5 years we will be operating in 50 countries. I know that is very ambitious, but one part of our concept is that in the headquarters, in the, let's say, in the management, we have some specialists who really work only on getting banking licenses and on opening local banks in our so-called focus countries. So that's how we tackle this huge task. But as you might know, it is the basis of our business model that we are not only in a local market, but also present with local banks in different countries. Only like this we can offer real-time, instant transfers, which is sometimes really important. For example, if you have to pay or if you want to pay a hospital bill of your brother or of your sister, then the money cannot be on the road during 3 days. You must be able to do the payment right now and within a few minutes. Well, my wish is a very simple one. I want everybody who likes the idea to be part of a global social bank to either buy our special award, which is called the €1,000 award, for people who buy this €1,000 award, either for themselves or for a child or a relative. You get free banking services for all your life. And actually starting in a few weeks, you can also buy shares of the one holding for all. So just keep yourself posted, either visiting our website, which is www.onebankforall.net, and there you will find information right now about the €1,000 award, and selling the shares we will start at the end of January.